Corridors of blood, corridors of blood. Don't get addicted to opium or else you'll kill a lot of people with grave robbers. Or something like that. I decided to pretend like I was holding the DVD in my hand. So anyway, hello there, CriterioNate here. Number 364D, or part 4, the final part in our Monsters and Madmen set. Number 368. Number 368, Robert Day's Corridors of Blood. The 1958 black and white English 87 minutes, I think. Yeah, 87 minutes. And yeah, starring the great Boris Karloff and Christopher Lee, who most people remember for playing Dracula. And yeah, so yeah, it's another great little horror film from the day, and featuring the one and only Boris Karloff. I should mention that actually this was actually not. It was shot in '58, but it actually wasn't released because it didn't do well. And I guess it was Amalgamated Pictures' final film. It actually wasn't released. I think it was released in Italy, I think, for the only in first, but it didn't get a U.S. release until it was put as a double feature with a movie called Werewolf in a Girls' Dormitory or something like that. I remember looking this up, and I remember hearing something about that. I think because I remember the trailers are on, I believe, the Carnival of Souls DVD or Fiend with. I think it was on the DVD for Fiend Without a Face. I remember. I'm just now remembering all these trailers for all these movies. It just so happens that they took them a few years to actually getting around to releasing the actual movies rather than just trailers of them, you know. So anyway, Corridors of Blood, another mindless. Well, actually, no. This one isn't as mindless as, you know, First Man to Space or Atomic Submarine or even Haunted Strangler. This one's a little more thought-provoking. I won't spoil the whole thing. Basically, it's about this guy, Boris Karloff's character, whose name I cannot remember, so I'm going to look it up. His name is, he's a doctor who is very distraught that all the surgeries, you know, like surgeries, people feel pain, and so he wants to try and figure out a way to, so that people don't feel pain when there's surgery and all that. So I think so that they can do live anesthesia or something. I don't know. Well, live surgeries or something. So anyway, he tries out all these different gases, and he ends up trying it on himself. The point where, and then one night he ends up, trying it on himself, and he goes insane, and he cuts himself on a piece of glass, but he doesn't feel it, and so he's very, he's happy about this. So he tries it out on a patient, and it doesn't work. In fact, I think actually the day before he tries it, actually ends up killing him, and so he ends up grabbing somebody at the last minute, and it doesn't work for them. Somebody who has like an arm that hurts, and yeah, so he just gets really, really obsessed with it. Sort of like his character, Thomas Bolton. That's Boris Karloff's character. Bolton gets really obsessed with it as Karloff's character in Haunted Strangler gets obsessed with the case and the murderer and all that. So yeah, and to the point where he ends up, and this is a bit of a spoiler, but he ends up being blackmailed by these grave robbers in signing fake death certificates or something like that. And yeah, that's all I'll tell you. I'm not going to tell you the rest. It's a pretty crazy movie. Probably the most Criterion of the four. First Man to Space and the Atomic Submarine definitely don't make that much sense outside of a special effects, standpoint. But yeah, that's all I got to say. Corridors of Blood, again, Karloff, fantastic job. Not as interesting as the others. I'm giving this one an A-. I feel like it didn't maybe I got spoiled by the length of the first three, and this is the longest in the Monsters and Madmen set. So because of that, I feel like, I don't know, it dragged on a bit compared to, like, I've had movies under 80 minutes, and we have one over 80 minutes, and it's like, oh shit, that's too long, But anyway, outside of that, it was a fantastic movie. Again, a little rough in moments, but still pretty good. A-. And that's all I have. I don't have there's no other supplements on Filmstruck, so all I got is the movie, and I will get to the movies. As far as the Monsters and Madmen set in general, I really liked the mindlessness of First Man to Space and the Atomic Submarine. I just like the movies that were just kind of sci-fi movies that had like a large cast and all these people kind of especially Atomic Submarine, where they're all trapped together and they're trying to have plot points, and it's like but it's like it's about the monster, it's about the the horror, So anyway, but that being said, and the Karloff movies were good too. I've been contemplating whether or not I'm going to pick this up. It was good, but I don't know how good it was, Like, I would love to watch First Man to Space and Comic Submarine and Quarters of Blood and On a Strangler all over again, but let's find out, because I'm really curious. What is the price? What's the price like? $53! That's new. $40.98 is the used copy. Yeah, I don't know. That's a little... For the 4 movies, I don't know. That's a little pricey. It's Criterion, of course. It's going to be pricey. But that being said, I don't know. So anyway, we shall see. There's a chance I might get them. There's a chance I wouldn't. I would recommend, if you like horror films, and again, I think a lot of this is the fact that these are so unlike Criterion. These movies are so unlike Criterion, as is the other movies, the other horror movies they've done, like Fiend Without a Face and Carnival of Souls. Eyes Without a Face is in French, so that's very Criterion, And I'm trying to think of others. I can't think of any others right now. Like, horror films, Like, the other, I'm talking about Qui-Gon and Jigoku, and, those are foreign films, so they're Criterion, But English, American horror films, and I'll even give them, like, Dead Ringers, Silence of the Lambs, that's really Criterion, Sisters, nobody, those are really Criterion, but I'm talking about old black and white, kind of things, But yeah. So anyway, that's my thoughts on the Monsters and Madmen set. I might pick it up if I can find it. Maybe I can find it used at my local record store or something like that, or DVD store, video store. If I can find it used at a cheap price, I might pick it up. We shall see, but we shall see. But again, if my library gets them, then I will do the reviews and we'll make it all official. Anyway, that is that, and that's it for this week. I guess so. Next week we got the Sunday. We're doing our rewatches. We're starting our rewatch Sundays, and it'll be the Scarlet Empress. And then next week we're doing the Paul Robeson set, Portraits of an Artist. Body and Soul Body and Soul. I can't remember any of the other names of the movies, but they're all on my desk at work. I'll pick them up tomorrow. And excuse me. And then let's see. And then I've ordered Day of Wrath. That should be here. I think that's on its way. And then the other ones I've ordered. I've went ahead and ordered the ones for the week after that. What was it? Green Bicycle Thieves. Green for Danger. 49th Parallel. When a Woman Ascends the Stairs. And I should probably order my next review, which will probably be Children of Paradise, Mal Sarkon's Children of Paradise, which is another one that I admit I complained about the length. I think was probably the biggest complaint. I know that's my girlfriend's biggest complaint was the length. But yeah, I'll give that one another shot. And then after that, I don't remember my list. I'll wait till announce the next one. So anyway, that's it for me. Thank you for watching. Don't take too much of the gas because you'll end up, signing your life away. Yeah, so that's basically it. And learn some new songs. I'm talking about you guys in the pub playing the same damn songs on the accordion all the time, or the harmonium, or whatever it is. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on Sunday for the Scarlet Empress re-rewatch, re-review. Let's give it another shot. Marla Dietrich impressed me. Joseph von Sternberg impressed me. Anyway, until then, goodbye.